Hey, what's up mortals? Davy Wavy here, and welcome to part 6 of What If Young Naruto and Sasuke Left Konoha? This story is by our writer AxleBoost. Its official title is One Steeped in Darkness. Axel has given us permission to use it on the channel. Links to the original fanfiction postings will be in the description. As always, just wanted to greet you all by saying sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. With the services Skillshare provides, you can access many in-depth tutorial videos on basically anything you want to learn. Each class that they have is bound to help you with your creative endeavors. Do you want to learn how to make videos like this one? Do you need to know how to write scripts or edit audio? Skillshare has you covered. With our link, you can access a 1-month free trial. So what are you waiting for? Click the link now and get a month's worth of classes for free. Link is in the description below. The funeral service for those lost on the Naruto and Sasuke search party mission took place on what should have been a pleasant morning. Bright rays of sunlight blanketed the leaf village. Sparse clouds floated along overhead. The nice weather seemed to shift the moment the event began, however. A light rain overtook the sunny sky, poetically mixing with the tears of those in attendance. While the previous day's casualties numbered in the single digits, the hurt their deaths caused ran so deep that it felt as if 100 were slain. Many of the ninja involved in the tracking mission were beloved in the village. Even those attendees who only knew the deceased in passing had nothing but positive things to say. Hiruzen grimaced when his turn arrived in the funeral procession. He approached the row of graves with a heavy heart, stopping to examine each name. If there was anything he felt he could credit himself with as Hokage, it was taking the time to get to know everyone in the village on a somewhat personal level. The downside of this virtue was feeling as if he lost family every time a leaf shinobi perished. Ah well, he told himself, that was the price of carrying the will of fire. He laid a flower in front of each of the 6 graves, then made room for the next person in line. A tremendous amount of fortitude was required to hold his head high after reading the engravings on the headstones. Somehow, seeing the names in physical form had a more powerful effect on Hiruzen than receiving the grim mission report from Kakashi, or even seeing the bodies. Rather, what was left of them. 2 names hit closer to home than the rest. Iruka Umino, Yugao Uzuki. Allowing himself a moment to lament their loss, Hiruzen took his place at the front of the crowd and bowed. The conversation with Kakashi hung fresh in his mind, a bleeding wound that he couldn't ignore. Iruka begged me, Lord Third, Kakashi had said. Begged me to let him go on this mission. He was concerned for Naruto, and wouldn't take no for an answer. Off the top of his head, it was difficult for Hiruzen to pinpoint any time in Kakashi Hatake's life that he sounded on the verge of breaking down. Seeing someone as strong as him, this shaken, made Hiruzen uneasy. In childhood, Kakashi remained stoic even after the loss of his father and comrades, soldiering on to serve the village. His repressed pain was easy enough to notice. He became more aloof, more ruthless on missions, and terser in his communications. Years went by before Kakashi emerged from the dark cloud hanging over him. This was in no small part due to the help of those close to him. His life was full of experiences that would break the average person, but he remained an active ninja and stayed loyal to his home through it all. Hiruzen was nothing short of impressed by the man's tenacity. Something about this particular mission was different, though. Pangs of doubt shook the Hokage to his core. Had this disaster succeeded where other traumatic events could not? Had it broken Kakashi the copy ninja beyond repair? The troubled Jonin in question ran a hand through his crimson-smudged silvery hair. He threw a written mission report down on Hiruzen's desk, his stony gaze reviewing its contents. While he was technically showing a fair amount of disrespect to the Hokage, it was hard to hold against him, given recent events. Kakashi's stare was so intense the third half feared he might burn a hole through the paper. But he was only torturing himself further, so Hiruzen slid the papers out of view. Kakashi, the latter said, putting a hand on his trusted subordinate's shoulder. This isn't your fault. But sir, I led this mission. I led them all to their deaths. Kakashi's mask flexed, giving the impression he was gritting his teeth. And Yugao, I fought alongside her in Ambu for years. Now she's gone. I don't know what I'm supposed to tell Hayate. You don't have to worry about that. I'll inform their families for you. Hayate as well. Hiruzen sighed deeply, adding, Whoever did this was far more prepared than we could have imagined. Blaming yourself only cripples our military strength further. Kakashi, I need you. The village needs you. You did the best you could under the circumstances, and no respectable shinobi would fault you for that. In terribly timed fashion, a piece of something fell from Kakashi's hair and landed in his gloved palm. He and Hiruzen went silent as they observed what was, without a doubt, a segment of a charred human finger. The blackened body part was smeared with blood. Kakashi's demeanor grew ever more defeated at the realization that Iruka's remains had kept him company all the way back to the village. He almost collapsed, and only pulled himself together because Hiruzen had a couple of chunin tend to him. They checked his hair and uniform for any lingering bits of the victims, then escorted him home. Watching the group leave from his office window, Hiruzen found himself smiling at the sight. While Kakashi was still not at 100%, the support he received seemed to prevent him from descending into full-on panic. He regained his composure and strolled away from the Hokage's residence with his assigned chunin companions. The Jonin had avoided relapsing into the severe depression he spent years fighting against. At least I haven't failed one of the loved ones you left behind, Minato. Naruto was another story. The boy was out there somewhere, without anyone to look out for him. Hiruzen knew his soul would be unable to rest in the Pure Lands if he forsook Minato's child. The problem was that options were few, and time was ticking away. Every second, every minute, every hour that Naruto and Sasuke remained missing was more time for someone unsavory to do with them as they wished, whatever that was. Snapping back into focus, Hiruzen returned to the funeral proceedings. When he was done here, he would send out new search parties. Every available moment had to be spent looking, or he would be unable to live with himself. Naruto gazed in awe at the room around him as he stepped into the house meant to become he, Sasuke, and Obito's new home. Its walls were painted a soft blue. Cream-colored tiles accented the blue, creating the illusion of even more space. Sasuke stood by unimpressed, but the simple trick worked on Naruto in no time. The energetic blonde shouted with joy, dashing from room to room while making silly noises. He turned a corner and came speeding back into the room. Naruto stumbled to a stop in front of Obito, Sasuke, and the mysterious, weird-looking guy who brought them here. "Whoa!" he said. "It's huge! Way bigger than it looks from the outside." "So it's to your liking then?" said Obito's friend from beneath a black and red cloak. "Mm-hmm." Naruto gave him a vigorous nod. "Thanks, Mr. Zetsu." The cloaked figure bent forward and grinned. "My pleasure, Naruto." Mr. Zetsu looked like a monster out of a picture book in Naruto's opinion. He had pasty white skin on one side and pitch black skin on the other, scary yellow eyes, half of a mouth, and a smile that didn't look real. Sure, it checked all of the boxes of what made up a smile, but it was missing something the boy couldn't describe with words. This resulted in a hollow imitation that didn't seem natural. It was almost like someone taught Mr. Zetsu what smiles were supposed to look like, but not how to really feel the emotions behind one. Naruto resisted the urge to back away or cringe. Despite his appearance, Mr. Zetsu had been kind to Naruto and Sasuke the entire way here. Plus, he prepared this house just for them to live in, so the Uzumaki decided to trust him. That wasn't the only reason to trust him, Naruto reasoned. If Mr. Zetsu was a friend of Obito's, he couldn't be all bad. If it weren't for Obito, neither of the two boys would know anything about how the village was using and lying to them. Why would someone who risked his own life to make sure they knew the truth be friends with a bad guy? "You and Sasuke should settle in," Mr. Zetsu suggested. He nodded toward a hallway. "Your room's that way." Obito took off his mask and coat, striding along beside Naruto. "Come with me. I'll show you where." Naruto beamed. "Thanks, Obito." He wondered if it would be okay to jump up and hug Obito. The guy was like his dad now in a way. Wasn't he? Or was that too weird to say so soon? Since the blonde wasn't sure, he gave Obito's pant leg a gentle squeeze instead. The latter flinched and looked down. Not with hostility, but with a grimace of confusion. A moment later, his brain caught up to what was happening, and he offered a stiff nod, walking out of the child's unexpected embrace. "You're welcome." When they reached the room meant for Naruto and Sasuke, the boys each claimed one of the beds. They were positioned against opposite walls. Obito and Zetsu left them to unpack their belongings in peace. Naruto's cheerful humming was in stark contrast to the cold silence on Sasuke's side of the room. "You know," Sasuke said as they unpacked, "this isn't going to be like a normal family dynamic." Naruto strained to grasp what the big words Sasuke used meant. Failing to do so, he flared his cheeks and defiantly spat, "Shut up!" "You don't know what dynamic means, do you?" the stuck-up kid responded. Naruto sensed that Sasuke's gaze was trained on him. The blonde could do nothing more than hang his head in silent admission of the truth. His fellow rogue let out an arrogant hum of triumph. Naruto continued to sing a hushed tune until Sasuke broke the silence yet again. "It means we aren't going to be the happy, picture-perfect family you're imagining in your head. We're here to train, to learn, and to one day go back to the Leaf Village so we can exact revenge for what they've done to us." Flashes of the information on the scroll hit Naruto in waves. He'd done his best not to think about it all, but Sasuke's words brought everything rushing back full force. Old Man Third, Iruka-sensei, Mizuki-sensei, everyone! They all fed him lies for years. How could they treat him that way? Back in the moment, he gave his so-called brother a snippy reply. "Don't be stupid, Sasuke, I know that." "You do, huh? Then why are you acting like..." Naruto whirled around, his face red and his fists balled. "Because these are the first real bonds I've ever had," he said without thinking. Then he froze, realizing he'd revealed much more of his vulnerable side than intended. Doing his best to smooth the moment over, Naruto spun around and went back to unpacking his things. He busied himself with sorting his ramen cups by flavor preference. Sasuke fell silent. Of course, that didn't last longer than a few seconds. "Stuff like that's pointless, you idiot." Naruto's lip quivered. "It figures you wouldn't get it. You're always having all the girls and the teachers fall all over you, praising you and saying how you'll be a great ninja someday. But you shut them all out. You're the idiot." "We may not be in the academy anymore, but just like back then, I'm not here to form new bonds. I'm here to avenge my old ones." The boys cut their eyes at each other from across the room. Obito appeared in the doorway, looking from one child to the other. He let out a defeated sigh. A single thought ran through Naruto's head during the sudden staring contest. "Maybe this family thing really won't work out after all." Thank you all for indulging yourselves in the story thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, we've got a primary channel called We the Celestials. We the Celestials is what we do here already, but their content's centered around the crazy world and lore of My Hero Academia. So please check us out over there if you're feeling in the mood for a roller coaster of quirky content. We also have another relative to our channel, Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes deep into the facts and lore of a wide variety of anime. It's guaranteed to expand your weeb knowledge of all kinds of series. On behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. If you're perhaps interested in what we do here at WTC, then I would like to extend an invitation to join the team. The only caveat being, we only accept members 16 and older to join our crew. You can find us on our Discord, which you can locate in the description below. Our Discord is an all-around fantastic place to be, whether you're a fan or looking to join our band of misfits. All you gotta do is hit up the recruitment server and sign up for whichever category of work fulfills your interests. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching, and have a great day.